Last time we sampled many of Nablus' famous treats, retraced the footsteps of Jesus, and seen the magnificent Dead Sea. Today, we'll end our episode by discovering the best of Ramallah with a visit to the Arafat's tomb, Darwish Museum, sampling the famous ice cream and the party scene. We'll also join a peaceful protest in Bilin and ending the day by discovering the origin of the Good Samaritan. All done safely, inexpensively, and easily. Anything I can do, you can do. Part 4 of DIY Destinations Palestine, and you are invited. We are so fortunate to live in a small world with so many cultures, so much beauty, and so much diversity. The world waits for no one, and it's up to each of us to discover its magnificent destinations. Israel and Palestine have both proclaimed Jerusalem as its capital. However, at the present time, Ramallah is a de facto administrative capital of the Palestinian Authority. It's about 15 kilometers from Jerusalem. This is why I stayed for the entire filming of the Palestine episode. It's known for its religiously relaxed atmosphere. Alcohol flows freely and movie theaters are well attended. And there's cafe along the main street. It's without a question the cultural capital of Palestine. Our first stop is Arafat's tomb in Muqada, the Arabic word for headquarters or administrative center. This is the temporary burial place of Yasser Arafat, the first president of the Palestinian National Authority from 1994 to 2004. It was opened in 2007. The tomb was built with Jerusalem stone and designed by the Palestinian architects. Jerusalem was his first choice for his final resting place, and as the message on the tomb indicates, that it is where it will be when it comes under Palestinian control. About 3 kilometers away is Ramallah Cultural Palace and Mahmoud Darwish's memorial, dedicated to one of the most celebrated Palestinian poets and authors. He who won numerous awards for his literacy work and was regarded as the Palestinian national poet. Today, the complex is a landmark in Ramallah and a source of pride for the locals. The location contains 736-seat auditorium, exhibition gallery, and conference facilities. It hosts all types of events, ranging from classical music and hip-hop concerts to business conference and exhibitions. You'll be surprised at how Ramallah is similar to many Western cities and how you are able to find most things here, including one of my favorite cravings, ice creams. I mean, fresh ice cream. This ice cream shop is as famous as it gets.
The name of the main street in Ramallah is named after this shop. So the name of main street is Rukab Street, and this shop is called the Rukab Ice Cream.
This is Arabic gum with potassium. So I'm going to sample this right now, and I know it's going to be really good. Oh my god. It's actually really gummy. I'm gonna get back to eating. This is good. Awesome.
Palestinian beer. Actually, it's from a village called Beer Zaid near Ramallah.
Oh, okay.
And we have only two beer companies right now. And they are around Ramallah.
Right nearby, you can experience Ramallah's vibrant nightlife with a few drinks, of course. In the neighborhood of El Masiyun, you can find Western-style pubs and bars, but don't forget to bring extra cash, as the alcohol is pretty pricey here. I ended my final night in Ramallah by visiting the hilltop in the same neighborhood near the Coptic church overlooking the city. The name stands for High Mountain of God, and the modern Ramallah was founded in the mid-16th century by Haddad, a Jordanian tribal brother descended from Ghassanid Christian Arabs. Next day, I joined a free political tour to see the weekly peaceful nonviolent protest in Bilin, a village made famous by the movie Five Broken Cameras, detailing the struggle of Palestinians against illegal land confiscation. I also had a chance to ride in a Palestinian ambulance. So I'm heading off the political tours here on Friday. There's a political protest every Friday in Bilin. So one of the things I'm going to do is to be on a Palestinian ambulance. Alright, so here is actually fairly equipped. You can see we have vibrators and different kind of syringes and drugs, and But let's just hope that no one had to use this ambulance while we're here. So that the paramedic just told me that the reason, as you can see, this window is broken, and it's very common for Israelis to actually target ambulances, which is definitely illegal under the international law. The Bilin protest was surprisingly peaceful, and you can see the spirit of resistance being passed on from the generation to younger generation, as both young and old protest against the occupation. Even those who are disabled and wheelchair bound are here. It's truly an amazing sight. Unfortunately, the peace didn't last for long. Despite the fact that protesters are peaceful and unarmed, Israeli soldiers started throwing tear gas at them. Angered by the soldiers' action, the protesters start throwing rocks. All of a sudden, rather than arresting a stone thrower, we witnessed a soldier pepper spraying an unarmed protester right between the eyes and start to beat him. There's just no word to describe it.
He's my friend! He's my friend!
The soldier blocked the paramedic who tried to get the injured man on a structure. They continue to launch tear gas and threatening us with a rubber bullet if we do not retreat. The media often covers the Palestinian violence against Israelis, but this was a first-hand experience from the other perspective.
They are crazy! You have a message to Italy?
What?
The guy that they arrested, did he do anything?
He did nothing. He was taking pictures. We were saying, go away. There's nothing more to do here. Go home. And then they started shooting the tear gas and we started running.
The floor was just littered with spent bullets and casings used against largely unarmed protesters. Another reminder of the brutality of Israeli occupation supported by the United States and the West.
If you need to build anything, you have to take the permission from the Israeli army. Most of the time they won't allow you, including the farming lands, which is the majority of the land in Area C. In 2004 actually, the Israeli army started building a fence confiscating 60% out of Bilin land. And this fence actually was not where the wall, as you can see over here, is where the dirt roads over here. It seems for many Palestinians that it was already planned, because at the beginning it was a fence and they were at the same time building the wall. And the main purpose of that is just to give an idea or propaganda about giving the land back. But what happened, they gave back only 30%. And what is still remaining behind the wall, where all of these settlements are in the other 30% of Bilin land.
So is this a threat to some sort of threat to Israeli army?
Well, each time they give a different...
I was also shown a civilian home that was allegedly bulldozed for some bogus reasons, and a community center that was set on fire by the Israeli soldiers. Alright.
Okay, so you spread the hummus inside?
After returning from Bilin, I was hungry again, and you guessed it, it's time for some cheap local food. This time, the most famous and the best falafel in Ramallah. That's a lot of work for them.
The spices are so fresh, you smell them and taste them inside.
So one thing I'm really proud of is I managed to make my own falafel. Well, not make it, but at least put topping on. Apparently this is the best falafel in Ramallah. So let me see if I can survive my own falafel, and I think I have a great potential. It's so good. I'm taking full credit. Hey, are you guys hiring? I stayed with a hostel in Ramallah the entire time during the filming of this episode. So, before leaving, I'd like to thank the owner Boo Boo, who's also my co-host. Once again, I love asking the owners why people should visit their city.
Well, we wanted to bring people here. We wanted to show that Ramallah is safe. There's a lot of things to see that you can't imagine that is existing in Ramallah. Nightlife, sightseeing, busy life, and good food for cheap prices. We wanted to bring people here to share cultures, and as well we want to have our own social responsibilities. We're aiming to bring artists here, musicians, and just bring life everywhere in Ramallah.
As the city center is relatively small, it's not hard to walk to most destinations, including the old city. You'll pass by the Amanara Square along the way to the central bus terminal. It's considered one of Palestine's most renowned public spaces, in the heart of the central Ramallah. Located just a 5 minutes walk away is a central bus terminal offering shuttles or shared taxis to most suburbs and outskirts of the city at relatively low prices. This is where we enter to our Ramallah, at the central bus terminal. This is also where you can board buses to connect to Jerusalem and other Palestinian cities. This trip was extremely meaningful for me, and I passed by the Inn of the Good Samaritan before reaching Jerusalem. The Good Samaritan portable began on the ancient road between Jerusalem and Jericho. Once again, I don't encourage you to enter any paid establishment in the occupied Palestinian territory that I consider illegal, and this is one of them. Without giving out the exact location, I will tell you about it and its significance. We all heard about the story of the Good Samaritans. It has been mentioned in the Bible quite a number of times. Here's a place where you not only to get to know about history, but touch it. Over there is the Good Samaritan Church, and over here is also a well that apparently where the Good Samaritan drink from. It's quite an interesting experience being here on the ground where the story actually originated. In the Luke's Gospel, there's a story of a man who is robbed, brutally beaten, and giving up for dead before finally being helped by a passing Samaritan. The Samaritan brings the injured man to an inn and pay for his care before continuing on his journey. I urge you to be that good Samaritan by not turning our back on our fellow human beings and the suffering of Palestinians. By supporting their fight for their rights and a peaceful end to our occupation, I urge all our youth from both Israel and Palestine to start peaceful dialogue, develop mutual understanding, and stop all form of violence. I come to Palestine to connect with the Holy Land, its history, its culture, and the resilient people. I not only connected with the history, but felt it at the exact spot believed to be the birthplace of Jesus, and retraced his path to Jericho. My favorite memory are seeing the resilience, the strength of ordinary Palestinians, and the passion for their struggle for their independence as witnessing the Ada refugee camps. I was moved by the hardship and the daily reality of many while touring the Ashahana street. So as a foreigner, would it be easier for me? The lesson from this journey is that peace and coexistence is the only option for moving our humanity forward. This is my dream, and the dream of those Palestinians who I want to thank for providing me with accommodations, logistics support, transportation, security, and filming arrangements. Thank you, and Sukran.